Hey sweet soul, welcome back to Conscious Lifestyle Coaching. My name is Raileigh Easterling. Today's message is we need to feed our children better. So this message might offend some people, but I'm here to tell you some things that are important and necessary and as true as my soul can express to you. So here it goes. There are many people, especially where I am in America, who are just feeding their children convenience food because there's just no time to do anything. I understand, especially being a new parent now. How do you have time to do anything? So food is often the number one sacrifice that families are making nowadays. So don't blame yourself for what I'm saying at all. You're definitely not alone if you've had to do this. Now, some people just crave the flavor of convenient processed foods, fried foods, and sugar, and we get addicted to it, and it's really hard to let it go. It's almost like a hard drug, like cocaine. Seriously, that's how addictive these chemicals are to our brain. And we're feeding that to children. And as I'm learning with this new baby is everything we're feeding them now is going to influence the rest of their life, how they build their gut bacteria. And what I've learned from myself, being on the conscious path and having to be extremely aware of what I'm eating and how it affects my body, I've learned that I am gluten intolerant and lactose intolerant. And it seems like everyone is nowadays. You go to the grocery store and everything's labeled gluten-free. So why is that? And what I learned on my path as a farming apprentice was GMOs. And it is wheat that is most heavily genetically modified. So that means it's not natural anymore. Our bodies don't know how to consume it. Our body is reacting to wheat as if it is a foreign substance, a foreign chemical, because it is. And what I learned from the farmers I studied with was how glyphosate, I think I'm saying that right, please correct me, the GMO chemical, how it works is it speeds up the lifespan of the wheat. So what the farmers do is they spray this chemical on their crops in order to speed up their harvest, so that they can harvest all at once with bulk heavy machines, and that way they can make a living. So we don't blame farmers who've had to do this, especially generational farmers who know nothing else, and that's their legacy and they want to keep it up. But in order to keep up with modern society's demands of food, they have to use this chemical. So, and oftentimes it's financially impossible to get GMO certified, non-GMO certified. So yeah, wheat is dangerous to our bodies. Many people. But ironically, what is the most available food? Especially to families who want to go out to eat. They need a break. They need some help. They want to go eat in a restaurant. So they're going to go to the restaurants that are family friendly, and what they sell are burgers and pizza. So just sandwiches, more bread and cheese. Cheese is another food product that is so heavily processed. I don't know about you all, but when I was in school we watched Food Inc. So we learned about factory cows never seeing sunlight, never even touching the earth, and then they get milked. They're hooked to these machines and they get infected, and these cows are stressed, and then we're consuming them. And if you're on the conscious path, you know that whatever you consume, you embody that energy. And it is not until you truly detox from these substances, you go on a fast, and then you return to these foods, it is only then that you'll actually become aware of how it is affecting your body, your mind, your body, your spirit, all of it. So I'm not here to preach any specific diet, but this specific message is to be mindful of what you're feeding, especially to the children. A lot of American kids eat mac and cheese. So two of the most poisonous foods we can be feeding our children and our babies. And I just had a specific dream about this, so that's why I'm speaking on it. So we need to make time to slow down. We have to. in order to heal the family and to make sure our children are growing up safely. Because what happens if you keep feeding children something that is a foreign substance, where the DNA is meant to unravel in the food you're eating? That's what was sprayed on it, and then you're consuming it. And then our telomeres in our body shorten, our DNA unravels. It's killing us. So how it looks like for me in my body if I consume gluten, it used to be I would just get acne a couple years ago. That used to be the only symptom. So you see a lot of people with acne, and I would get bloating. And a lot of people don't realize how bloated they are. Maybe you don't care about your weight, or you carry an extra few pounds, but actually it might just be that you're very bloated. And if you combine that with not drinking enough water, your body's retaining water, you look a lot more overweight than you may be. Your skin clears up when you drink more water and you eat more whole foods. So it took me many, many years to figure out that it was in the bread, that it was poisoning me. And now being a little bit more immunocompromised, having just given birth, and I accidentally had gluten and soy sauce at a restaurant, now I get fevers and chills, and I react as if I have a really pretty bad flu, and I get joint pain. So it is very toxic to my body, and gluten is increasingly becoming more toxic to many more people. If you're on the spectrum, if you are neurodivergent, it is likely that you also are gluten intolerant and lactose intolerant. Look that up. I'm not a doctor or any health professional, so I cannot tell you, but it is likely. Especially if you have the acne, the bloating, if you suffer from joint pain, try cutting out gluten and seeing what happens. Same with dairy, especially cow milk. So I do eat some cheese, especially sheep milk or goat milk from local farms, because that has not been genetically modified. Those goats and sheep are much happier. They're living outside in the sunlight. Their feet are actually touching the grass. They're eating non-GMO food. And also remember that all the meats you eat, the farmers are feeding those animals GMO corn and GMO wheat. And corn is probably even more genetically modified than wheat. And we also have to pay attention to what is culturally relevant to our body. So I have a lot of Caribbean blood in me. My ancestry comes from hot climates. So we eat a lot of cassava, more of that than corn, I would say. So I don't eat a lot of corn. Not allergic to it yet, but I don't feel too great if I eat GMO corn. As a former farmer and aspiring future landowner, where I hope to continue to farm again, I believe in wanting to preserve heirloom seeds. I think that's going to be the future of the survival of humanity. So, how do you get your kids, into eating vegetables? Maybe that's your problem. Maybe you're very aware of all of this. How do you get the children to eat healthier? Especially when they go to school and their friends are all eating pizza and chicken nuggets. What do you do? So that's why I started farming. I grew up not eating very fresh. My Puerto Rican grandparents were phenomenal cooks, but I don't remember eating a lot of vegetables. Avocados, tomatoes in the sofrito with peppers and garlic, but that's about it. Sometimes we grew fresh beans, and my grandfather always had peppers or something growing outside, and that's what inspired me to want to dive further into farming. But actually, I moved to the mountains and I went and lived on a farm, and I learned how to grow these vegetables, and I would be eating them fresh off the vine in the beautiful mountains, drinking clean water, and it was fun, it was beautiful, and it was delicious. I remember eating my first tomato sandwich here in North Carolina on the farm with an heirloom Cherokee tomato and fresh basil, homemade sourdough bread, never had that before, and fresh mayonnaise made with duck eggs from the farm that morning. So that changed my palate, completely transformed my life, and now I crave more healthy foods. My body craves vegetables. And it would be easy to teach our children that as well. If you get them outside, kids love being outside, they love being dirty. But it's that time factor again, right? As a parent, you don't want your kids getting all dirty and all that stuff, because then you have to clean them up, to get the car dirty. None of that matters. They need the dirt. They need the bacteria in there. They need all that good stuff. So this is just an inspiring video, I pray, where you don't feel guilty or ashamed, because you're not alone. It's very, very hard to live this lifestyle, especially if you don't have access to gardens and farms. Community gardens do exist, but yeah. Ultimately, I believe food can be the portal as well to a slower lifestyle. I make food, our family prioritizes food as being the family medicine, the family hearth, and it does force us to make different choices than other families may be making. So I work from home. I don't make millions of dollars like my intellectual academic brain wants to be doing right now. I'm at the home, and yeah, we don't go out to eat. We enjoy our solitude a little bit, and being deeply present with each other, not a lot of noise. It's just different. So I don't know, I just wanted to share, that it's possible to live a healthier lifestyle, and we need to do this for our children. Especially if you watch the video about vaccines. Why are we giving babies so many vaccines? We just need to be more healthy. We need to make healthier choices. We need to live healthier lives. That way we don't have to bombard our children with so many vaccines and immunizations. Okay, that's the message. Peace and love to you. I'm getting cold. I'll see you in the next video. If you're ready for one-on-one coaching, you can look up my Calendly booking at consciouslifestylecoaching.com. And of course, the 90-day coaching portal is opening January 5th. So I go through specific periods where we have deeper dives into the coaching experience, where I actually help you directly build upon your soul vision. So if you're already a conscious business owner, a creative entrepreneur, I'm here to support you and help you in the ways that you need with my own professional skills. So I will directly be serving you. So if that's you, please let me know. And then I'll see you again soon. Peace.